Well, here with reaction ahead of today's big meeting between Wall Street and the White House is Charles Ortel. He's managing director of investment advisory firm Newport Value Partners. Charles, good to see you again.
Thanks for having me on, Betty.
Okay, so I want to get your reaction first to Volcker's comments. Pretty strong words against Goldman and really any bank that gets government money but still insists on basically earning money trading and also paying more than, what, half their revenues to their bankers.
Well, I have a tremendous admiration for Chairman Volcker, and I hope that, and believe most Americans do as well. In fact, when he decided to come on board with the Obama team, I think that lent a lot of momentum to the president's candidacy. I think the remarks that I've read carefully are particularly astute. Not only does he draw attention to the fact that, if rescue capital actually is used, if taxpayer money is used, it should really be only used in extraordinary circumstances in ways that are manifestly beneficial to the system at large. Supporting trading activities, to me, is a questionable thing. Another thing that he did light on was the support by the FDIC for General Electric, which he called into question as well.
Yeah, I know you've been a pretty staunch critic of GE. Before we get to that, though, I mean, giving them this money, but part of the reason why they were given this money is to shore up their balance sheets, to increase revenue, to increase earnings, and they've done just that. Why does it matter how they do it?
Well, I think this is sort of rich irony. If you look back to 1960, in 50 years, governments in the United States have managed to balance their budgets 4 times. So, the government is the last entity that should be directing traffic and making credit decisions in the economy. That's indeed, I think, why we got in trouble in the first place. I think the roles of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac helped fuel the bubble. I think Chairman Greenspan's lax policy, in addition, created the mess that we're now in. So to light just on some bankers as being the problem, I think misses the larger picture. I think this is sort of like the Agatha Christie novel Death on the Nile, where you find out at the end that everybody is guilty. Bankers are guilty, politicians, regulators, the public is guilty. We were apathetic. We didn't stand up and hold regulators and politicians and bankers to account.
It's nothing new that these guys have been making money for a while. Peter?
Charles, this is Peter Cook with Betty here at the White House. I want to ask you about Citigroup and its repayment of its TARP today. What does that signal to you? Is Washington letting Citi off the hook too easily?
I think so. I mean, look, we're approaching year end. It's very important for banks around the world to have their balance sheets intact as of the audit end period, December 31st. Our own view about the state of the global macroeconomy is that we are far from out of the woods. We agree with Chairman Volcker that the global economy has structural problems, and we believe it is likely in 2010 and beyond, we could hit another serious rough patch where more rescue capital is needed. Only this time, we've already spent a lot of our powder. Really?
Charles, I mean, describe to us that scenario.
Well, first of all, in the United States, if you look at the Z1 statistics released by the Federal Reserve recently, debt continues to soar. We have a massive debt crisis at every level in the economy, in households, businesses, banks, governments. When you add the total debt up and look at it in relation to our net worth and then our conservatively accounted net worth, it's out of control in the United States. We've seen in recent weeks, since November 12th precisely, that a teachable moment for all of us has been the way sophisticated investors in the debt markets are looking at sovereign debt. Sovereign debt of countries like the UK, Greece, Spain, Ireland, and then we can pick on Latvia and Lithuania, have all, CDS spreads on those have all widened out. And I think people are looking, sophisticated people are looking at government finances and saying, wait a minute, you don't cure a debt crisis and a spending crisis by borrowing more money and spending it ill-advisedly.